both at Taree and Port Macquarie, and they secured employment over the last 12 months for about 400 people. They did make a difference in many lives in this region. A third expo has also just been announced for Port Macquarie on February 17 next year, so please, employers, employees, grab that opportunity to participate in that format. Is Renee Hawkins here? Do you want to just put your hand up? Find that lady through today if you want to participate. Creating new pathways for students for their school education through to higher learning and employment, I think, is the central plank for our local education employment strategy and for community building and resilience. This work has been also boosted by the appointment of 2 education skills and jobs coordinators within this region. And Renee, I'm not sure, are they here today, do you know? Don McKenzie, so please stand up and wave. Find that man if you want to talk jobs or education. Is Jenny Higgins here today anywhere? She hasn't shown up. Jenny, sorry to embarrass everyone. Please find one of those 2 and talk business on jobs, education and skills in our region and how we can do even better than what we have been doing. 2 examples of industry-specific plans that we've now got running through this regional employment plan is the aged care sector plan that's now starting to bite. And Jan, can you wave? Anyone who's interested in the aged care sector in particular, talk to Jan. And is Jill Simmons in the room? Jill's hands up. The manufacturing cluster is now open for business, and I think that's a really exciting one that we've finally got running. And I assure you, Jill, your money is close to being delivered. So there's a $100,000 application in with the federal government to allow Jill to do her job properly. I would hope it's only days away that is confirmed. But the manufacturing cluster for the Mid-North Coast is now open for business. And it's good for us to think about from this broader national debate in regards to skills. A lot of people within federal government think with a mining boom in the west or the north, the thinking is how do we get more people fly in, fly out, moving from areas such as ours to mining-related and extractive industry areas. The HF Hand story and the manufacturing cluster story is the pushback on that, where we want to keep families together as much as possible. We recognise FIFO is going to happen, but we want to get some contracts for work coming back the other way. Ian Bird from HF Hand convinced me on this, and I don't know whether he's here today, where they, from little old Port Macquarie, just completed an aluminium smelter in Portland, Victoria, right on the southern tip, and did it basically from here. So there is work that can move the other way to people. We don't necessarily have to move people to the work, and I think that's the ticket for the areas where the gold rush of the modern energy boom isn't happening to the same degree. We've got to get smart, we've got to get organised, we've got to form partnerships, and that is exactly the point of the Mid-North Coast Manufacturing Cluster and the good work that Jill is now going to undertake on behalf of all of us. As well, I'd be remiss, because I know it was a big feature last year, is better information communication technology. And it is coming. The COFS and Sawtell work is now underway, and there's plenty of lobbying and advocacy work for it to be a broader story for the Mid-North Coast. Years 2 and 3 of the rollout will be announced in the first half of next year, so please, anyone who knows anyone in Canberra, anyone who knows anyone in NBN Co, this is your moment to lobby like crazy and offer to have someone stay at your house for a week over Christmas if they look after us on the Mid-North Coast. It is right now that the lobbying is at its most intense, and all help is welcome on that front. But I gather the release of the Regional Development Australia Mid-North Coast digital strategy has happened or is happening today. I've had a quick look, and I congratulate the author Tim Williams. There's no doubt that the reference to some of the game-changing opportunities for the Mid-North Coast are real. issues such as raising local GDP, changing market perceptions of the area, transforming public services in the area, upskilling and strengthening local communities in the area, and reinforcing the emerging digital economy as a sector all of its own. Very obvious, but worth reaffirming points that will be part of this document today. So congratulations on that good work. So that's my last 12 months in a quick brush. I thought I'd touch on what's coming up over the next 12 months for everyone to keep an eye on and help where you can. I think particularly keep your eyes on the linking of a lot of policy work that's happening in different areas. The Regional Australia story has a lot of work happening in public policy, but a lot of it is still in silo, the classic Canberra style of we're doing a bit here on National Food Plan, we're doing a bit here on Murray-Darling Basin, we're doing a bit here on jobs, we're doing a bit here on clean energy. I think the real thinkers, both in public policy and in rooms such as this, are now starting to try and get their head around how we start to link some of this for some integrated policy outcomes on the ground. And I think you will see more and more of that conversation unfolding throughout 2012. Feel free to participate in that where you want to. The education story, as I mentioned before, I think that will be a standout for 2012, led by some of the reforms I talked about earlier and one almighty brewing education fight in secondary education in the first half of next year for all the right reasons that we're going to have a healthy policy discussion. As well as tax changes, keep your eyes on that and how that unfolds for regional Australia and for the business community generally. On the back of the tax forum in October, there was two programs set up that will make announcements next year. The first is this business tax working group. So anyone who's here thinking about business opportunities, keep your eyes on the commentary around loss carryback, equity financing, and this business tax working group. I think through the first half of next year, that's an evolving story with real benefits to the small business community on the mid-north coast. As well, the state tax working group. Sounds very dry, but it's I think, hopefully, if we all keep it honest, going to be some of the most important work of this parliament, where the new New South Wales Liberal Treasurer, Mike Baird, and the Queensland Labor Treasurer, Andrew Fraser, have both agreed to lead a state tax working group on trying to harmonise a lot of the state taxes and, where possible, minimise and, where possible, eliminate those taxes that the Henry Review of 2009 identified as just being inefficient and fundamentally bad, things such as insurance taxes, stamp duties on property, and, well, the fight at the moment, state-based royalties. So that will be reporting next year, and so there'll be a lot of conversation around tax for anyone in the room who likes tax. The final and probably I think real opportunity for enablers and thinkers, and hopefully that captures everyone in this room by default that you're here, is in the resource management and natural resource management sector. So the back end now of one hell of a political fight over pricing carbon and getting an emissions trading scheme up, you will now start to see some programs flow through the first half of next year. One's already been announced in regard to a $200 million carbon farming futures program, but you will see almost weekly now some opportunities for those that want to engage in resource management and natural resource management in a better way. And that is a huge opportunity for regional Australia, where most of the investment will happen and most of the skills actually lie. So hopefully be able to talk more when a few of the other speeches are done. And look, thank you all for coming, and despite a lot of the political noise, despite a lot of the, a few of the political bruises, this is opportunity time for the Mid-North Coast and for regional Australia. And it's a test of us at the same time as being an opportunity. I hope you're all up for it and happy to help wherever possible over the coming year ahead. Thanks.